Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts head out west to face Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. This is a wonderful matchup for us all to enjoy on Sunday. Wow, SoFi Stadium. Just wait until you see how many Colts fans show up for this. You will be surprised. If you're a Colts fan attending this game, looking for a little breakdown of what this match will be like. Or if you're a Rams fan, you already know what SoFi is like. It will be packed with Indianapolis Colts fans. They do travel well, especially when their team is playing at a level like this. It all starts with the run game, but I want to talk about the Los Angeles Rams passing attack first, because the number one thing that impacts this game, unfortunately, is an injury. Kenny Moore will not be playing in this game. He has played like maybe the best cornerback in the National Football League through the first 3 weeks. Without his presence, going up against that Rams insane wide receiver core with Davante Adams now and Puka Nacua, that does not bode well. But now back to the run game, which does bode well for the Indianapolis Colts, is the production out of Jonathan Taylor. He leads the NFL in yards. He had 6 yards a carry, 3 rushing touchdowns in that route over the Tennessee Titans. Daniel Jones continues to add production on the ground. This guy has been impeccable, truly playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. The question, though, is can he maintain that level of play? They beat the Denver Broncos, who we thought have one of the best defenses in football. They played well against the Chargers on the road, so it does look like they are. How do they fare against Los Angeles Rams? That matchup when Jonathan Taylor has to find a way, where Quentin Nelson has to deal with the pass rush of the Rams. Byron Young, Braden Fisk, Jared Verse, these monsters of that Los Angeles front are a load to deal with. Up there probably, honestly, with the Eagles for the best defensive fronts in the NFC conference. People like to talk about the Giants. I personally say that's more of a pass rushing front. What you love about the Rams, right, is the way that these guys are every down players. They can stop the run. Jared Verse with his 31 bench preps of 225 in his NFL combine, he's stronger than anybody he's lined up against, and that physicality helps you. I'm leaning towards a tougher day for Jonathan Taylor to run the football. Why? Because against that Philadelphia Eagle offensive front, the Rams limited Saquon Barkley to less than 50 yards rushing. They had no answers. Philadelphia, if you watch that game, did not start moving the ball until they utilized their weapon of A.J. Brown, that X-Man, X-Factor guy, and then they've got Davante Smith. They aired it out. Those Rams guys started peeling back a little bit. Jalen Hurts had more time to throw. There was less aggression from Los Angeles. And, of course, 2 blocked field goals leads to one of the more heartbreaking losses in recent memory for LA. It's unfortunate that their most recent loss, too, was also to the Eagles in the divisional round. That also in heartbreaking fashion. But the positive signs are there for the Rams. They're competing with the best team in the NFL, the Super Bowl champs. They're the only one competitive with them. They have them on the ropes, up by 19 points. Even beyond that, when they're down, they've got them 4th and goal. Even beyond that, they've got a game-winning 44-yard kick. So many chances to win that game. Why are the Colts winning games that we're used to seeing them lose in the past? Daniel Jones. When you have a quarterback that's playing in rhythm within the confines of the offense, that has a lot of confidence throwing the football, I got to tell you, he looks kind of like the way Sam Darnold did with the Minnesota Vikings that year, being able to spend it in Minnesota, being able to learn and adapt, spend a little bit of time with Kevin O'Connell. It's like this guy's the quarterback whisperer. He comes to the Indianapolis Colts, has to beat out a couple of guys in the quarterback competition, and you cannot speak highly of enough of this guy when he has the intangibles. I mean, a guy that's 6'5", 225, 230, and athletic as can be at the quarterback position. You put that together, and the weapons, Pittman Jr. and Tyler Warren now, that's really the guy that I'm personally circling. Why the Chicago Bears took Holston Loveland, Indianapolis Colts fans have no idea. Tyler Warren has been a monster through 3 weeks. To develop that kind of chemistry, already between a rookie tight end or any sort of receiving threat with a quarterback new into a team. It's unbelievable to see that, and that's my guy. It's not Jonathan Taylor, it's Tyler Warren and the Rams to defend that, because we know the Rams have a great front. The secondary has been firing, playing at a really high level, but they don't really have a guy that matches up with a 6'6", 255-pound Tyler Warren that moves at times like he's 205 pounds. He's unbelievable how you can get him into different ways, that he can get the ball as a quarterback and run it. You can get it to him on a sweep reverse, or hand the football to him, or get it off to him in the flat as a screen. Just manufacture ways to get him touches of the ball. Also, Josh Downs and Pittman, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, they're versatile. They can run so many different routes. It certainly makes you think what'll happen in those off seasons. How much time does Josh Downs spend with his little brother Caleb Downs? Not that he's so much smaller than him. Probably the best defensive player in the National Football League. Probably some Rams fans know about this guy, but having that ability, that chemistry of a guy like Josh being able to maybe have some reps with his younger brother Caleb, and they get to learn from each other. Those guys have their own podcast now, Downs to Business. Like they really have something special together there. And I can't tell you enough, having a brother, having a guy you spend a lot of time with, picking their brain and developing, especially one as talented as number 2 for Ohio State. I mean, really, it's an element to this one. So Josh Downs, I'm circling as well for a guy that the Los Angeles Rams will have to have have resources accounted for. LA, though, what's the attack? How do you attack Indianapolis? It's what I said in the opening. Davante Adams, he's the guy that'll be lined up a bit more on the outside than Puka Nacua. More traditionally will be lined up out of the slot more often than Davante. Replacing Kenny Moore is impossible for Indy, especially the way he played early in the year. I love the way Indy has played up front defensively. When you have a DeForest Buckner, when you have a tackling machine in Zaire Franklin, they have those pieces up front for Indianapolis. I don't know how well the Rams run the football, but I do know that they might have the best wide receiver duo in the National Football League. And what does it take to have a team that can legitimately be a Super Bowl contender? First, it starts with a really good defense. A lot of the time, it starts with a really good quarterback. But besides that, besides the obvious check marks, a good ground game, the O-line, but 2 legitimate threats to throw the football to at wide receiver. You go back to all those teams, right? Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison for the Indianapolis Colts. Brady always had Gronk and Edelman somewhere. He had Gronk and Mike Evans there in Tampa Bay. Aaron Rodgers, right? He had Donald Driver and Greg Jennings. The Eagles, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Patrick Mahomes had Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. Like they have multiple guys. If someone's covered, they can go to the other one. Because Indianapolis, I don't think will be able to replace a guy like Kenny. I'm sorry to say for Indy fans, don't think it's enough. I believe that the Rams are able to really put up some points in this game to the point where they can actually maybe not win it fully comfortably, but 24-18, they hold on at the end. Maybe they're up by 9 points and it winds up a 6-point game, or up 13, a touchdown late for Indianapolis. I don't see this game being down to the wire. Those types of injuries, and especially against a Rams front, home field advantage, not really much of a thing at SoFi when a lot of people like myself, I'm a season ticket holder for the Rams, and I will not be at that game. To be honest, a lot of the time I just enjoy watching the games at home, being able to flip it around, check what else is happening at home. Sorry, Rams fans, you want to hit me up in the comments and buy some of my tickets, please do so. Not that I'm trying to plug that, but maybe kind of. Indianapolis Colts fans, this is a game where it's an opportunity, but hey, if they did end up losing, not saying they will, I'm saying I'm predicting it, but if they did, a game against LA, you get to see the real deal if you're Daniel Jones going up against a quarterback that has been around there, that has the potential, that probably winds up in the Hall of Fame, that won a Super Bowl. They do everything the right way in Los Angeles. A great defense. The offense is starting to really get humming. Maybe they struggled there in the second half, but they still had a chance at the end of that whole thing to definitely win that game for the Colts. no shame in this one. I mean, looking at that division, they're 3-0, and Houston's 0-3. Their biggest threat as of this point, of course, Jacksonville now. They're looking better on the season. They're 2-1, and you have to deal with the Indianapolis. What I'm trying to say here is you have to deal with the perception of success. How do you deal with success? It's always what Nick Saban has talked about. How do you deal with the rat poison, being told how good you are? That's the last thing you need to be told when you have a matchup against the Rams, who will punch you in the face until you quit and don't come back out of that corner. It doesn't matter if it's in the first round or the 15th round. They don't care. They will keep coming after and hitting you as a team that is so physical. They just couldn't do it long enough against the Eagles, and they basically lost with them going to the scorecards. Were never knocked out. They almost knocked out Philly. They should have. They had them on the ropes. They had them flat on their back, but somehow Philly got off the tarp with 9 bells being rung. So I appreciate you so much. Rams win this 24-18. And let me know down below who you believe wins this game. Why could I be right? Why could I be wrong? Want to hear from you. Please subscribe if you have not already for more football content. I make NFL and college football videos every single day. We will continue to do that as the season develops here, breaking these matchups down and having you prepared and ready to roll for when these games do happen. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.
Best player in college football.
That Georgia and Ohio State game, New Year's Eve, is going to be a classic.
Josh Blunder. Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Blunder.
To the 40, 35, 30, Espinosa to the 20.